give each of you a proof to put on the board, that you had to put your proof on the board, and then that we could all check it. Because there were 5, 6, 12, 13, 15, right? So there's 5 proofs. There's 7 of you. Did you all do your proofs? Can I just give you one and you can put them on the board? Okay, so, but like the chalkboards, right? So that we can all do it at once? So, 5, 6, 12. Chandler, you can help Mackenzie since you do your homework. So you
Why?
Because he's your friend. 12. 13. Can you do 13? 15?
Sure.
Do you want to help someone else?
Yeah, you can help us.
You can help them. They need help. Alright, so there's some chalk around, so let's just number tiny chalk, but it's the best chalk. Just yellow chalk. So just number it, and it says the paragraph proof or flow proof. You want to, if you just
So do I have to write mine in a...
did you do yours in paragraph or you?
I did mine in 2 columns, because I forgot about the paragraph. Once I finished, I just like, oh, it's a paragraph.
Right, you can do 2 columns, and then you can just read it as a paragraph, right?
Okay. Yeah. She helps. After that.
Alright, I guess I don't need to record this.
Okay.
Look, I should record this now after we've already talked about 2 proofs. Number 8, on your quiz on Monday, maybe I'm not going to make you prove 6 sides are congruent, but I'm definitely going to make you do the distance formula and find the sides of a triangle. So maybe instead of proving 2 triangles are congruent, I'm going to ask you to just find the distance and then name it by like isosceles or equilateral, scalene, right? So you've got to know the distance formula for your quiz. All right, were you number 12? Look at his lovely organized proof over here. He has such nice writing. So they gave us 2 lines are perpendicular, and they gave us BD bisects AC. What? Okay. So let's check this.
Hey, I did the wrong thing.
So he said BD is going to be, right? Where did this come from? You just said that on your own?
I think
You kind of, that should have been in your proof, right? But you used the, so I think in his given, right? So I think, I'm going to erase this over there. You're given that BD bisects AC. So because you know that, then you can say, kind of what they did over there, bisects, right? So maybe, I don't know, am I being too picky by saying you should say it's midpoint?
so maybe I did do it right. I just did the given wrong.
Well, you did the given wrong, and then you need to say in here that AD is congruent to CD by definition of a bisector or by the midpoint theorem. And again, so kind of similar to that. So you have to remember, like, you have to restate the given the way it's given, and then make statements from that. Does that make sense? But then you definitely need the reflexive property. He knew that, and I think you should be more specific here, because there's 2 angle D's there, right? Because if you wrote angle D is congruent to angle D, that's reflexive property. But it really should say angle ADB is congruent to angle CDB. And that is because they're both right angles. I think we have lots of theorems about right angles, but because they're perpendicular lines, that's how you know they're the same. So bisecting gave us 2 sides were congruent. Then reflexus gave us another 2 sides that were congruent, and then we had our angle. So side angle side is the way to go. Everyone's your lovely handwriting. 13. Okay, paragraph proof. Given R is the midpoint, she says that we know QS, R is the midpoint of QS and RT, then we know,
Oh yeah, I think
since R is the midpoint of QS and QT, what should you say back there? Like you missed what you should say. Because I agree that's true, but it shouldn't be like right, like you then you jump to vertical angles. Since R is the midpoint of QS and RT by the midpoint theorem, then you should be able to say subsegments are equal to each other, right? So you should be able to say that Q, I can't even read that. Is that an R in the middle of that? QR is congruent to SR and that PR or is RP is congruent to RT.
No. You had it right. I was saying that.
RP is congruent to RT. And then our next statement is that those two angles are congruent by vertical angles. So how did you prove that these two triangles are congruent? So triangle PRQ is congruent to triangle TRS by what did you use? Side, side, side or side angle side? You have an angle in here, right? Vertical angles. So you have two sides and an angle in between. Side angle side. Right, so don't forget to say that part, I think. 15 said paragraph proof. Eric did a lovely 2-column proof that you can just say in words. You can just write out sentences there. But what do we have there? A new one here. They tell us it's equilateral. And they tell us that WY bisects angle Y. So really from the given, they didn't give us any of the three things, but they gave us something to get there. So let's look at his, because it's given, he says WY is congruent to WY. That's true, that's a reflexive property. XY is congruent to ZY because definition of equilateral triangle, they're all the same sides. And that side angle side proves the triangles are congruent because they were given WY bisects angle Y.
I know, I should have written that in there too.
You should have written that you knew the angles were equal to each other because of that, right? And so one more step in there. Because it bisects it, we should say angle XYW is congruent to angle ZYW. So we know those are the same. Those are reflexive. Definition of equilateral. So this is kind of a new one. It didn't ask you to prove the two triangles are congruent, but notice in step 4. He said he knows the two triangles are congruent from side angle side. So if you know they're congruent, then you know these two have to be congruent to each other because of CP-CTC. Because if you can prove the triangles are congruent, all the corresponding parts are congruent as well. So that was kind of a tough one. I think the toughest one of all of them because it wasn't just proving the triangles. And then on your quiz, you're going to have questions like this. On your homework quiz today, you're going to have questions like this. Given the pictures, can you prove the triangles are congruent? And sometimes the answer is not possible, so make sure you check those, right? Side by side. This one, you could use reflexive property to say that that's congruent itself, but we don't know anything about any of the angles, and we don't know the other side, so that's why we don't have enough information. Same thing for this one. It's kind of tricky. Lots of people want to say side angle side on this, but this would actually be angle side side, right? Because the angle's over here, or side side angle. And 19 is side angle side. Questions on any of those? Like seriously, that's exactly what your homework was today is. 5 of these questions where you say side, 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 side angle side, or not possible. What about number 30? It says true or false. If the congruent sides in one isosceles triangle have the same measure as the congruent sides in another isosceles triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Basically, they're telling you 2 sides are congruent. Is that enough to show that the triangles are congruent? It's not. You need 3 sides or you need side angle side. So hopefully you were able to draw a picture there that shows 2 isosceles triangles that have the same lengths of the sides, but they definitely could have different angles there. Questions around this? Here.
Not about this, but we can get our, we take,
grades are great, and you're gonna have time to work on the quiz review, and so while you're doing that, I'm going to finish getting those graded, to get caught up on grades, okay? All right, so we're gonna take a homework quiz. I'm gonna stop recording in a minute, so I'm gonna kind of summarize what we're doing. We're gonna take a homework quiz. You're gonna do a quiz review paper on Monday. I'm gonna check that. We'll go over the answers. We're gonna take a quiz on Monday. Okay? All right.